Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're plunging into some foundational ideas. They come from the early parts of the book, Built to Last, Successful Habits of Visionary Companies.
Right. And this isn't about, the flash in the pan companies. This research looked deep at institutions founded, on average, way back, like over 100 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, comparing the absolute titans, the really premier, admired, lasting companies, with others that maybe started out similarly, but just didn't achieve that same kind of multi-generational iconic status.
So our mission for this deep dive, really uncover what truly sets these enduring companies apart. And honestly, some of the findings really challenge, fundamental assumptions, don't they?
They absolutely do. We're digging for those surprising nuggets straight from the source's data.
Okay, so first off, what makes a company visionary in this context?
So the book defines them as companies like GE, Merck, Disney, Ford, institutions, big impact, survive multiple leaders, multiple product cycles, all founded before 1950.
Got it. And the core finding, the one that kept popping up.
It's this idea that the builders were focused on being clock builders, not just time tellers.
Clock builders, time tellers. Okay, explain that a bit. What's the difference?
Okay, so think of time telling as like having a brilliant product idea or being that super charismatic leader.
It's a visionary genius type.
Exactly. Someone who can tell everyone what time it is right now, points the way forward for a while.
Okay, I get that. So clock building must be bigger picture.
Much bigger. It's about building the organization itself, the system, the actual mechanism that can keep telling time forever, basically.
So it endures.
Right. It adapts long after any single product is obsolete or any specific leader is gone. The institution, the company itself, that's the ultimate creation.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Because it bumps up against common startup myths, right? Like myth number one, you need a single, brilliant lightning bolt idea to start something great.
And yeah, what's fascinating is the research just doesn't bear that out for these enduring companies. Many of them, they didn't start that way.
Like who?
Think Hewlett-Packard, Sony, Walmart, HP, for example, Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard. They just wanted to build a company in electronics. They tried all sorts of things.
And so
Their very first product, a rice cooker.
No way.
Yeah, and it failed. Completely flopped. Others like 3M, Boeing, they started with failures or had to pivot significantly early on.
And here's the kicker, right? The comparison companies, the ones that didn't become enduringly great.
Yeah.
The research found they were actually more likely to start with a specific hot product idea. They often had that early, fast success.
Which is so counterintuitive. It really makes you think, doesn't it? If you're waiting around for that great idea, well, maybe that's not the defining factor for long-term greatness. It might even hold you back.
Okay, so if it's not always the great idea. Maybe it's the leader. Myth number two, you need that great, charismatic leader at the helm. The Steve Jobs figure, perhaps.
Again, the findings kind of push back on that stereotype. Sure, the leaders were impactful. But a highly charismatic style, the research says it's absolutely not required.
Really?
Yeah, look at leaders they cite, like William McKnight at 3M, Masaru Ibuka at Sony. Not exactly household names known for their, dazzling public persona.
Right.
Their focus wasn't on building their own image. It was squarely on architecting the organization, building the clock.
So the genius was less about personal spotlight, more about infrastructure, like GE setting up its research lab super early.
Exactly. Or Sam Walton at Walmart, meticulously building these organizational mechanisms for constant change and improvement.
Or Walt Disney creating Disney University whole training systems. They were literally designing the operating system of the company.
And you contrast that with some comparison companies where success and even survival seemed way more tied to that one founder's brilliance.
And when they left,
things often struggled or just faded away.
That perspective actually feels, kind of liberating.
How so?
It means you don't have to be born this visionary genius with the killer idea from day one, or have this magnetic personality. Lasting success seems to come from something else.
From persistently, deliberately building a robust, adaptive organization. The thing itself.
Yeah.
And it's not just for corporations, right? The book mentions these ideas, building enduring institutions, knowing your core purpose versus just chasing tactics, apply much wider.
Like nonprofits, government.
Even aspects of our personal lives, they suggest, building something meaningful that lasts.
Okay, so let's wrap this deep dive up. The key takeaway seems pretty clear then.
Yep.
The most enduring institutions, they prioritize building the clock, the organization, the systems, the culture. That comes before just telling the time with a single great product or relying on one charismatic leader.
It really is a fundamental shift in how you look at it. You start seeing the company itself as the main creation.
And the products, the leaders.
Important, sure. But they're vehicles for that enduring company, not the other way around.
Right. Products serve the company's endurance. The company doesn't just exist to serve the product.
Exactly.
Okay, here's a final thought to leave everyone with, straight from the source material. Feels particularly relevant now, in such an unpredictable world.
What's that?
Basically, people can't reliably predict where they're going. The path ahead is foggy.
Sure.
So those who built these visionary companies, they seem to understand it's actually better to deeply understand who you are, your core values, your purpose, than to fixate on exactly where you think you're going.
Knowing the who gives you the compass, even when the map changes.
Precisely. A lesson may be as relevant for us as individuals as it is for building something truly built to last.